High-level people, fellow developers, Vue.js and Nuxt.js enthusiasts, and everybody who want to learn a little bit more about the going headless. Welcome to my warehouse slash office slash I'm middle of the moving, so this is like a kind of temporary setup for me. I hope you will enjoy it and the quality will be good anyway. So don't waste any time and dive directly to the talk and the slides. First of all, my talk is called Fast and Furious. And we will be fast and furious, and we will be going headless with Nuxt.js. Especially we will be using Storyblok as a headless solution and Nuxt.js for creating the website. A little sample with articles, featured articles, and we will be creating that from the scratch to the point where it will be possible theoretically to be deployed. So let's use our 30 minutes as much as possible. At first, I would like to tell something about me. My name is Snopko, and I'm really happy to be here. I was doing a front development some years, and nowadays I'm doing the development relationship or developer relations at Storyblok. And I joined them this year, so maybe that's why we are going to talk about the Storyblok and the Nuxt.js. I was using this Nuxt.js and Storyblok also like some years before that, so it's not only because I'm the developer there. I really like this combination. So another thing about me is like I don't like a lot of slides and do a lot of slides and talking about the theory. I like to jump to the coding. And if you want to follow me, then you can find this talk at the following URL you see currently on the screen. And right now, the question would be how to start, and I did and test different setups to start to create my own templates and anything. But at the end, the development cycle as a Nuxt.js is so fast that I think the best thing to start is directly start with create Nuxt app. So just go for yarn, create Nuxt app, and basically you will get this default option, like default process step by step with all the stuff you need to do. Going from the name, programming language, using of the UI framework, which I'm going to go for Tailwind CSS. I'm not going to use any modules from the Nuxt.js, but you will need to access it later. I really encourage you to use linters, but this is a different topic for the own talk, so I'm not going to do that now. Also, the testing, don't do that in this talk. We will be doing a universal application, but it would be applied. We could do that also with SPA, and the target would be the server. I'm using VS Code, so JS config is for me, and the username is whatever, and the GitHub whatever. So where we will end is basically a project like this. I already prepared that to save some time, and I already started also the local host. So you definitely go for yarn dev to test if everything is running as you want to. So let's check it if everything is running, and you can see this is the welcome screen from the Nuxt.js, and this basically means we set up everything in Nuxt.js, and we do have to now start setting the content on the headless part. So in our CMS system. So let's go for the Storyblok, create our own account, and after some registration, we will end basically in the dashboard where we see all our spaces, our projects, and we can create a new project. So I'm going to go really from scratch and click on the create new one. And I'm going to copy the name of the new project, which will be Blazing it Fast minus Showcase. We are creating this from the scratch, and this is really how every new space looks like. As I am today your guide, I will be closing this one, and let's have a quick overview of what we see right now. We are in the content section, and basically we see the first screen, and this is the story representing the index page or the home page, or or any other name you would have it for it. You can create it, delete it, or you can create any other one. But let's open it and see the default content created by Storyblok for us to just work with it. So the first, in the middle, you can see the preview where should be shown our website, but at the moment it's not shown because it's not configured to do that, and we do that in a few minutes or seconds. So let's close this and focus on the content, which was originally on the right side and now it's in the middle. So we can definitely go and edit that content. Let's go change this to Nuxt.js, or better to Toronto. We can add also a new block, one of those which are currently created and like defined, and we have 3 of them. So we could like create another one, like a new teaser. We can save it, and we can even publish it, and basically that would like trigger the webhook on the Netlify or Versa or whatever you are going to deploy, and then basically check the JSON of it, so how it will look like the content delivered by the CMS to our Nuxt.js project, and also like how to look like the production content. And this is all that stuff you can already do without doing anything like special setup. It's very easy, and user experience is great. So the question is how to make work this preview, because that's one of the key features. We would like to see our website and see how it look like before we go to production. So you can see here in the middle there is a token, and we should use this token to connect Storyblok with the Nuxt.js project. Do that, we just have to jump to the terminal and basically go for a yarn add Storyblok Nuxt module, which was created by my team colleagues. And if I do that, I will install it, and then all you need to do is go to the Nuxt config, and I already like prepared some cheats. So here in the modules, you just have to set up the Storyblok Nuxt module, and the minimal possible needed setup is basically add the access token I just shown you in the website. So this is this access token, or if you would like to use a different access token, you can always create your own for different content under the settings, API keys, and go for a different access level and create it like something like production access token, and then create a new token, save it, and you would have in this case 2 tokens. So let's use the token I just showed you in seconds ago. Yeah, live coding, save it. And please don't do that. This I do because it's really faster. Use a .env file and save your token in .env file, and don't push it into the GitHub or any other service. So let's start yarn dev. And now we should see a new build from the Nuxt.js, and this could take a little bit time because of all that process going on my machine. So I will be okay. So it was built and the localhost is running. We don't have any errors right now. So let's jump back to the code. So what is the next step? Let's check if everything is working here. So the content. Do we see any change in the content? We don't see any change in the content, but we know that we already connected the Storyblok with the Nuxt.js. So the next thing is to make the preview like working, is like to set up, as you here can see, the URL. We have here the your server address /home, and this your server address should be probably, in my case, a localhost, because my application is running on the localhost. So let's jump back to the settings and edit this one. So the default location is like the location where by default is story open. I changed to localhost, and if you need, you can like create also multiple locations like production, and you can add here like Versa or Netlify link on any other URL. So let's save it and let's check what we see now in the content and in the home story. And we see the change, we see an error. As you can see right now, it's the error from the Nuxt.js. So this is okay, this is like very good stuff, because we already doing some progress. To getting a Nuxt.js error is kind of good. And the reason why we have a Nuxt.js error is because we are asking for the /home page, but we didn't define that in our project. So if you check here in project, in the pages folder, you can see that there is no homepage, home.view, there is index.view, and this basically means that this should be a slash, so empty slash. We could do this like code some mapping for the /home and show the right content, or we can use a quick hack we created in the Storyblok, that in the visual editor you can override the real path for visual editor, and in this case the real path will be only the slash. And after save, I should see a preview or welcome screen from the Nuxt.js, and it's working. But still, I don't see a content. So there is like some content I created on the right side, but I don't see that in preview. So what should I do to that? As Storyblok's built on the atomic design principles, and you are building, and it's basically the content is component-based content. Everything here is a component. Even the whole page is the whole story is a component, but also this, every sub sections of the page are components. And the best way to explain it is like in the component section. At this moment we have 4 of them. We have a feature, grid, page, and teaser. Those all are components. The page is a content type, so it's representing. We can create using it as stories. The different samples are like article page, author page, or all the pages, but not only that. It could be also the items, or like your items you are selling, or authors, which doesn't have to have own page, but you want to have them in the separate folders. But then we have other components as feature, grid, and teaser, which are nestable components, and these create or define the blocks which can be used on different pages. And from that we have the name, the Storyblok. So we have a stories and the blocks, and together Storyblok. So the nestable components can be added to any other component using the field blocks. And this means that you can create a never-ending chain of nested components, and the combination basically of all of those components creates opportunity for building a very rich website and layout that you would like to and need to have. So in this case, the feature have only one field called name, and it's type text. In the grid, there is a field type blocks, so that means that into the columns, I can add a different other nestable components or blocks, and I can like also restrict that only to a specific component. So let's say I would like to restrict it only to feature and teaser, not another grid. Then the teaser, it's also only one field headline with the text, and the page is a field called body of type blocks that I can add any other component there. Pretty simple, but still I didn't create that, and I don't. It doesn't help me exactly to show them in the Nuxt.js application. And how this is working is that if you check the final REST API response, then you see here that I have here the field body on the page component, and the first object in this array is my teaser component here with the content. Hello Toronto. Headline contains Hello Toronto. So this is basically this component here with the text. And why I don't see here the preview is because I didn't create those components on the Nuxt.js side. So let's create them at first in Nuxt.js. To create them in the Nuxt.js, you can go to component folder and just like code a default view as you would do normally. But here I already prepare myself, so I have here the feature.view with little Vue.js, Tailwind styling, and also rendering the block.name. I'm using the prop called block to send data to my component, and this is like my pattern here. And then here I have a v-editable, which is used in later to connect the Storyblok editor, visual editor, with my components in the Nuxt.js, and then you can see outline of the components and the sections, and if you click on them, you can even see that the right content will be open on the right side. You will see that in the seconds. The teaser, it's the same thing, just block with headline, block renders headline with little bit styling from the Tailwind. The grid is using basically the dynamic component, which doesn't know if there will be a teaser or the feature. So we cannot like say like, hey, okay, always render the feature. So that's why we are using the default dynamic component here. And then you can do like use the is, and if the block.component is teaser, we will be rendering the teaser. If that will be returning the feature, we will be rendering the feature. So that's it here in the draft JSON. Basically, we are asking what is the value of this, and if it is teaser, if this will be teaser here, then we will render this teaser here .view file. And a little bit styling from the Tailwind as always. And the last component is the page, which is here, and it's also using the dynamic component with the same principle. And additionally to that, you can see that we are looping through the block.body. So the body of my page, which contains all the components. Very, very, very easy and straightforward in my opinion. Okay, so I created and explained my component. Let's register them. So first of all, I need to uncomment this code and also add it into Nuxt config. I wanted to use Nuxt.js / component plugin, but it's not possible with the dynamic component. This is like little bit still in the work in progress. So let's save it and let's hope that everything is working and building. It's take a little bit time, so I will be. So okay, my Nuxt was built, and we should check our localhost if everything is running, and we still see a welcome screen. And the reason why we don't see the components and what we wanted to is because we didn't ask or we didn't request any data from the Storyblok, and we will do that in the index.view in pages. Right now, this could be like be done and also like a little bit more color, but for this purpose it's enough. So let's open the index.view file and close these two other component files. And now we remove the welcome screen HTML. Then I'm going to uncomment my code, which will be doing nothing else, just like dynamically asking itself, okay, what do you want to do render here? And in my case, it will be the page. Then I will not need anymore the logo, so I can remove the logo here. Then I have here a little bit code from myself to load the data, and then I don't need to have any styling anymore. So let's save this, and we should see a change. And yes, the website was updated, and we see our content. It's pretty simple, but here we can already like click, we see the outline. This is the v-editable I mentioned, and this is working only with the draft content, because in the production content we don't see all the identifiers. So I can click here, and you can see that on the right side it's changing the preview of the component I want to do. So like this is like feature number 3. I can change the teaser to something else, and I can save it, and after save I see even the reload. So how does this exactly working? So in the index.view I'm like setting like my dummy data, which is like empty story with the content. Then in mounted event I am listening for for publish and change event, and so these are the basically save and publish. And if the save and publish happen, then I will be reloading the website. And on the basically reloading the website, there is like async data function called defined, which will ask for Storyblok API the content of the home story. So that's here, the home. This is like statically asking always for the home content, but normally you would go for something like this. You would go for this content full login. You will find it out according to the root and your path you are currently on. And the same thing goes for the version, that usually for the preview or like localhost you will be using the draft content, but if you would go for the production, then you will find out like, okay, do I need a production content, and you will render all the production content. Let's skip this here, and basically then you will return the data, and that will be basically replacing my data here. And that's all, nothing else. As you can see, after save, the content was changed, but I think we can do even better because we have a modern framework like Nuxt.js or Vue.js. And what if I would be not listening for the save or change events, but I would like say listening for the input. And this is already possible because I have it here. If I uncomment this part here, and I will need to reload also my application, then I can click into the hello world and write something like hello conference, is this cool? And I see the live editing. And why is this cool, and why I think really that this is important is that this brings me to the another two features that I think are really important to anyone working with the CMS, and that's the real-time editing experience, that you see what you are doing. So you can like click around, and then if you save, then you are saving something that you are happy with. You don't save because you want to preview your content and see like those partially updates, and then you will basically pollute your versioning. because here in the Storyblok you have the versions. I created and did some changes, and you can see what I did. And if I would save after every small edit to preview my content, like how it look like on the mobile, how it look like on the iPad, and how does it look good? Do I really want to have this hello conference? Do I need? Then I would have there a lot of small inputs, and then in the time it will be like basically the whole history would be unusable. So this is why I think you and everybody, like content editors, we are writers, and even the reviewers should save only if they are already like really happy with the final content. Okay, but this is still kind of a hello world sample, and I was like wanted to show you how to build a little sample of website with featured articles. So let's create a new article, new component. I will jump back to the component section and create the article. As the article in the future should act as the content type, then it's here. You see this is the article. So I make it a content type, and I will create the stories, and then in the future probably we will render websites from this article. But for now I will just add there a few fields. Hero image, title, then give me a second, I need to add there also intro, author, and prose. So where will be my text? The hero image, as you can guess, that will be asset, and it will be image. Then the title, the text is quite good, so I'm not going to change that. For the intro text, I would like to have just longer text without any like styling. The authors, there are like many ways how to implement author, and I will go for the most simple one right now for single option. And as a source of the single option, I would just define here a few options. So let's do my name. And let's add also a Dominic, and let's save it. And the last one is the prose, which will be like where we keep our text. This is also like multiple ways how to implement this. But right now I would go for the rich text. So not markdown, I would really go for the rich text because you have all the possibilities of doing custom classes, etc. So I created my article, which is a content type. And right now, the cool thing is also, I don't have to create anything in the Nuxt.js to start and tell my editors and writers to like, hey, you can create the content. You don't have to wait for me till I will be done with my part in the front end. So let's go to the content. I will create for you articles folder. I will set up there that you can create their articles, and then I will allow you to create the articles. So here, let's create my first article. Yep. And as I didn't create any preview template for you, you will see this error, or you can close it and you can focus on the content. So upload an image. I prepared something nice. Okay. Then let's call it article number one. Article number one. There are some text which I stole from Nuxt.js. And choose the Samuel as the author, and there will be my text later, but I'm not going to do that, and save it. And let's create two more articles. Okay, I created two more additional articles to save some time, and now we would like to feature these articles on the homepage. So what should I do, or what we should do? So in the content, in the home, I would like to create here in the Visual Preview a section that would feature those articles I just created. But I didn't have any component here to use that represent that section. So what should I do is probably to go to component, and in the components create one more component called featured articles, and it will be next table component this time. So let's create that one. And there will be only one field for now, and it's called articles because we would like to select some articles from our folder. So let's add it there. And as we are going to select the multiple of them, then I would go for multi-option right now. And as a source will be our stories created a few seconds ago. And all we need to can do also is restrict it to a specific folder, which in this case is articles. So let's save it. And also we are done, and we can go to the home page, like our home, and I can add already a featured articles here. So I can add it here. I can even select all my 3 articles. I can save it. I can even publish it, and I can go and see that in the draft JSON, I already have that component with the UIDs of those articles. But as you can see, I don't see that in the preview. So what should I do? What is missing here? What is the step? And the step missing is here is the Nuxt.js component. So as you can guess, I already created the featured articles there. A lot of tailwind styling, and basically here is the rendered also a title that I forgot to put into the schema. And then there is another list of articles where I'm using an article teaser, and I'm going to send there some content from the blog. So in the article teaser, we are doing nothing else, just rendering the title, intro, and the outdoor. And here we are also like rendering an image, the resizing, the hero image we used. I'm using for that Storyblok's image service to replace basically and like crop the image to 300 to 250. Okay, that works. So this works, and I need to also like register these components. So let's uncomment these 4 lines, and now at this moment, if everything is running okay, we should see update on the home page. And right now we don't see images, and I think it's because the ad blocker here. So pause on this side, and let's do a reload. And hopefully we will see also the images. And here we see our images, and there is also this yellow part, which is basically our title. So let's fix the title very quickly. So here very quickly you can access also the schema of the component. I can add the title. I would like to add it on the first place because the order matter always. Here I would like to put like featured articles. Save it, and as you can see, basically these are my articles already there, and I even can change the order of them. So as you can see here, the article number 1 is the last one, so let's put it on the first place, and now it's in the first place. I can save it as if I'm happy with it. But the question is like, how did I get the content? And how did I get the content is a good question, because as you could see in the draft JSON, I had only the UIDs like here. So what did I do is basically like in the index page, I am asking to resolve some relations. So here in the mounted event and also in the async data, I am sending to Storyblok API or telling them like, hey, if you find a component called featured articles and there is a field articles, please could you resolve those relations for me, because those are the relations to other stories and I would like to get that content. And I do the same thing here in the mounted event, that basically I will be resolving using the Storyblok bridge those relations and just getting the content from the Storyblok, which is much easier as to save it in the Vuex, and that was how I did it like in some older talks. So, and this is basically almost everything I wanted to cover today, because we created a very simple sample. And what you can do with this approach, with this atomic or component-based approach, is that right now I have a featured articles, and if I would like to like copy, paste it, add it here, I can very easily create like Samuel's articles. Oh, I can write Samuel's articles, and basically just uncheck the article that's not from me. I can save it, publish it, and you can see that already like created a new component or content according to the content. And I could also like add here a styling, like make it blue or something like that, or choose a different layout. And then also we can go for preview and all that stuff. As I said, I'm very happy, and this is almost everything. So if you wonder what you could do with that, and you would like to continue where I left you right now, so basically create a website with the header, multi-language, with the big big hero area, and also the sub pages. You can go to storyblok.com/tp/Nuxt.js multi-language website tutorial and just continue and create a beautiful website like you can see on this screenshot. And that it's basically all from me. I am really happy to be here. I hope you liked my talk. You learned you learned something today, and you will be able to use it like in the future. So one more time, thank you very much to opportunity to be here, and I'm looking for your questions, and I can answer them on the Twitter as Snopko, or you can DM me, or you will find me on the Discord in the Nuxt.js, or even the Discord in the Storyblok. Thank you very much, and have a nice Vue.js Toronto.